for today's podcast. Right, okay. And we have three special guests joining us for today. Asher from Taylor's Agents of Tech Club, Jordan from the Tunku Abdul Rahman Computer Science Society, as well as Evelyn from Inti Computer Science Society. Okay, so before we officially start the podcast, let's have a little bit of engagement activities, all right? So that we can spice up the mood with you guys. We have prepared a short trivia of 5 questions with you guys. So do check out the trivia questions done at the Zoom chat box down below. Okay, so let's begin off with the first question. Okay, so who founded Apple Computer? All right, a very simple question to begin off our podcast with. Okay, you guys can answer down in the chat box below. Who founded Apple Computer? No one? Okay, come on guys. Steve Jobs, good job. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, what does the internet prefix www stands for? See that very often as a part of our community. Okay, what does the prefix www stands for? Come on, guys. World Wide Web. Well done, Hu Zingyan. Okay, not bad, not bad. Okay, love your proactiveness. Okay, so now I'm gonna copy paste a question. All right. So you guys have to discover which one of these is not a kind of computer. Okay, is it Apple? Is it Lenovo? Is it Toshiba? Or is it Lada? All right, which one of these is not a computer or a computer company? Lazada? Nah. Lazada is e-commerce platform as far as I know. Okay, Lisa. Okay, Lada. No typo is included. Okay, is it Apple? Toshiba? Lada? My mom uses Toshiba computer though. Lada, yes, correct. The answer is Lada. So Lada is actually a kind of car manufacturing company in Russia. Okay, so the others like Toshiba, Apple, and as well as Lenovo, they are computer companies. They manufacture computers as well. All right. So yeah, and the fourth question. Okay, second last question. Right. Which one of these is a file format for digital images? Is it CIA? Is it JPG, ICBM, or IBM? JPG. Okay. How about others? Does other people have any different answers? Okay. So yeah, the answer is JPG, a digital image that can be compressed 5% of original size, making it easier to transfer, electronical, and also storing. Okay. So yeah, that's the definition and abilities of the JPG file format. Okay, so yeah, moving on to the last question. Okay, our fifth question. Okay, which one is the very first engine, first search engine in the internet? Okay, is it Google? Is it Archie? Is it Internet Explorer? Or is it Firefox? I think it's Archie. Okay, Hamza. All right. Okay, how about others? How about other participants? Okay, your curiosity is indeed the answer. Okay, Archie is the very first search engine in the internet. Okay, you guys can look that up. Okay, so yeah, thank you guys so much for your proactiveness. Okay, so now we have done with our little trivia game. So, and now we can officially begin our journey towards tech discovery. Okay. Also for the participants, I highly suggest you guys to stay till the end of our podcast to stand a chance to win our 3 months Spotify giveaway. All right. So if you guys are ready to start, okay, do give me a fire emoji down the chat box. All right. Come on, keep that proactiveness going. A fire emoji down the chat box. Okay. We won't start if I don't see any fire emoji. Okay, come on. All right, keep it going. Keep it going. All right, come on, not enough. Come on, keep it going. All right, okay. Okay, that's enough flames. Okay, it's getting hot in here. Okay, so yeah, we can officially begin our podcast for today. right? So let's begin off our first general discussion. Okay, so how is technology evolving, all right, over the past few years? Since we're in high school, we can see a lot of technology advancement going on. Okay, so yeah.
Anyone wants to go?
Anyone can go first.
Yeah, we go first. Yeah,
Sorry?
I mean, you may go first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I'd say that it's evolving really fast lah. Like back then, when during like our primary school days and stuff like that, you can really see the trends like from our like the most famous phone back then was like Nokia or something like that, and then now it's iPhone, everything's iPhone, and also like you can think back on when the first iPhone was released back in 2007, right? The capabilities of what it can do compared to what the current iPhone can do, it's really heaven and earth lah. And also like back then when we wanted to like listen to music, we had to use like Bluetooth, or we even had to like personally record the music itself. So compared to now, everything is like you can be found online. So I would say that everything for the past 10 years, everything especially technology has been improving lah. So yeah, that's for me.
I would like to say that technology has been improving drastically, although we are not seeing those sci-fi movies in our real life, but then technology has been changed for the past 20 years. You can think that before, let's say Google was invented, and after, it was just near 20 years ago, and then people has been become more advanced, become more good, better in lifestyle, just because of technology. So I think technology has changed a lot of human lifestyle.
I think I would say technology, like what Asher and Jordan has mentioned, it has changed not just the lifestyles of all of us, but if you think about in the today's current workplace, especially when you go to industries like many industry firms like Microsoft, like Oracle, or even IKEA itself, you get to see how they operate, how they utilize the current technology into their own operations. So if, like, for example, if you notice like IKEA, for example, they actually now changing using the like self-service, like instead of like cashiers, they are now transforming into like those like self-service or automation already. So yeah, I would say it's one example that has evolved a lot lah.
I see. According to all your hypnosis, right, I can actually conclude that technology actually, are meant for, human compliments, right? Makes our human lives easy along the years, right? So now I'm quite curious, okay, towards the big picture, okay? What do you think technology will be like in the future?
Me again? Sure. Okay. How do I think technology will be like in the future? Looking at the trends now, involving like artificial intelligence, data science, Internet of Things, machine learning, yeah, it's getting more and more advanced, I would say. So hence, like there are many more things that could be replaced by all this technology, considering everything is getting more and more autonomous. So it makes life so much more easier for humans. And also like talking about the future, right? Recently, Mark Zuckerberg also came out with the metaverse, whereby people will be implementing VR. Yeah. So like implementing virtual reality into our everyday lives lah. So yeah, I would say that I'm not sure how the future will be like, but I think it's quite interesting considering the pace that technology is evolving right now.
Yeah, I would like to say that I agree with you. I heard that keyword autonomous, right? That is really what my point I want to say. Other than metaverse that will revolutionize how people would connect, right? How people would socialize. Recently, if you guys know about Elon Musk, the world visionary, he has announced one project called the Tesla bot on August. I think that is also another part that will revolutionize what our society looks like. And in the future, if Tesla bot is a success, maybe all kind of automation work such as assembling, such as and anything that we could think of repetitive, it would be replaced by the robot. And then if you could say that the job would be replaced, right? It's actually a good thing, because when all those repetitive and boring job was replaced, people have better opportunity to do those creative thing, or they could also get those basic thing done, such as the food, the healthcare, and the education.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of technology, like for example, aside from IKEA, I would say nowadays, if you think on the business perspective, technologies are not just taking over on the daily lives of all of us, but also in terms of business prospect, so like nowadays, if you think of few years, like let's say 2 to 3 years time from now, you get to see some jobs will be either dissipating or they will be reinvented to something else. That means technology eventually will be taken over by certain jobs, like for example, cashiers is one thing, but also the other one is another one is like, for example, salesperson. Later on will be taken over by automatons, doing all these robotics aspects, or you can say nowadays jobs, if you notice carefully, especially during this pandemic, which taught us a lot of things, and that is jobs are now moving towards into digital prospects rather than physical. Physical nowadays are moving more into like most advanced technologies already. Yeah, so I would say what it plays roles, like for example, nowadays if you see those HR hiring managers, they're actually now using social medias, like for example LinkedIn, they're actually using that as part of the jobs, as part of the hiring process to find potential candidates, or you can say in a way you can say SEO engines, if you think about business perspective. And then and then another aspect is like, what about technologies? How does it place? I would say is aside from HR is like marketing, because marketing, like for example, with digital marketing, nowadays if you notice everything, all promotion, everything advertising, you don't see much of the banners out there on the road. I mean, you still do see, but it's not really much already. And if you notice, you don't see much on newspaper anymore. It's more on online social media. So everything is all moving into digital already. So I believe that technology really plays the role in not just our daily lives where we just see our phone 24/7, but is also in terms of the future workplace. Everything is going online. Yeah.
I see. All right, with all these large compliments, right? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Everything moving to online and
I
digitally.
would say both ways. The good thing about it is it makes it convenient for all of us. It's much easier rather than do everything manually, right? You can just let all the technology do for you, But on the other hand, if too much technology also, you lose the human interaction. Like for example, let's not talk about the business perspective. Let's talk about the daily lives, all right? If you go out to restaurants out there, okay, you notice couples or even family gatherings or even friends, not that they talk with one another, but most of the time, if you notice, they use their phones. Like when they're not talking, instead of like enduring those silence and all that, but you just look at their phone. Why is that? Because mainly, because they are stick to their phone, but partly it's because they don't want to deal with human interaction, they just feel awkward. You know, they use that as a distraction, as an excuse that, oh, I'm busy, I'm using this phone, you know, just so that I don't have to talk to people, you know. So, and to be honest, I would say it's not really a good way, because who knows, you might lose the opportunity to meet someone special, or maybe who knows, it might be a future your colleague or your network, you know. So I would say it's both ways. On one hand, it's very convenient. Like nowadays, if you hear the government recently, they actually launched this budget 2022, you know, I think around today like that. They actually one of the initiative is they want to help students to like provide some cash regarding e-wallet, you know. They want us to use, they want to encourage us using technologies like e-wallets, you know. So instead of going through using paper money, we use online payment, you know. Eventually, I can see that especially next year, it's going to be everything online. Everything is going to be digital, even payment digital. They will not accept cash. In fact, already starting right now, and when I go to shopping areas, it already started to have those. They will ask you, I don't accept payments. I don't accept those physical payments. I accept online payments like e-wallets, you know. So I would say that is, on my hand, it's very convenient because I don't have to carry all the money, like for example, all those physical cash, but which is very convenient, you know. But on the other hand, I would say it loses the physical interaction. So it comes with both ways, both pros and cons.
All right. Yeah, totally agree with you. We lose the oxytocin chemical that we all pray for every day. Okay, we get oxytocin for hugging, from physical touch, right? Or even talking to people. All right, so that's one of the disadvantages. But technologies are meant for complementing human abilities towards what we do and making things convenient. Okay, so moving on to the next question that I would like to know of, since we're talking about business perspective, right? So how does technology act in the business world, all right, in terms of operation, marketing, or accounting?
Jordan, you want to go?
It's okay. Evelyn is major in business, right? I think she can. Yeah.
Wait, can you repeat the question again?
Yeah. How does technology act in the business world? Yeah. In terms
Okay.
of,
Okay. I would say many ways. Actually, I mentioned this one a little bit before, but okay, let's say I will take a few companies as an example. Okay, so take as like for example Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft Malaysia, you all heard big Microsoft, right? You know, because I previously was the ambassador for them. So what they do was they actually majority of the time they use their own specialized channel called Microsoft Teams. You guys heard of Microsoft Teams, right? So they, just like Zoom, they actually use Microsoft Teams to not just communicate, but they also conduct their own businesses there. And also not to mention, they use like technologies like Power BI or Azure, you know, all this data intelligence, you know, to not just help their own business, their own corporation, but also helps users out there who want to do all these startups, all this entrepreneurship, to lay that foundation using their platforms, you know, as service, you know, products and service at the same time, you know. So I would say this is one part of how they operate. They use everything like digital using applications, you know. And also like, okay, another example I would say is, like as I already said, is IKEA, for example, is they actually use self-service nowadays. And if you look at those nowadays, you go to restaurants, you know, no need to mention big companies lah. Just take startup companies who are doing business, let's say restaurants. Okay, Din Tai Fung actually is quite a big company. Din Tai Fung, for example, or any like those Namhyong restaurants, like for example lah, you know, if you go to like Tamen or that, you see some of them, they got robots. You don't see much of waiter and waitresses anymore. Even let's say you go to Sushi King, for example, okay, this is the business, how they operate restaurants, F&B, okay? You don't see waiter and waitresses, still got, but it's very less. They use the, what do you call that? The, you know, if you go to the Japanese restaurant, you see the belt where they serve food for yourself. And in fact, they also had a restaurant when I went, for example, when I went to one of the Japanese restaurants, Sushi King, right? They have this automated robot for you already. They already provide this self-service. There's no waiter, waitresses. Got lah, but it's mainly just to like take your order. But even take your order is already like using tablets in the end. So it's changing, it's evolving, you know. So that is outside in terms of retail. And if you talk about within the business operation, like marketing, okay, for example, IPG Media Brands. Have you guys heard of IPG Media Brands? It's actually the agency firm, advertising agency firm. What they do is they do everything online as well. Okay, they actually conduct video campaigns all within from online. They conduct their own video campaigns. They actually using their also SEO engines. You know, they also use other digital marketing softwares, video editings, posters, everything to actually come up with their own campaigns. You know, they don't really go out anymore. Last time they got, but they still do, but it's like getting lesser and lesser and lesser already. It's because everything is changing because technology is not advancing, you know. So if you think of business prospect, I would say it's evolving. And another example is Maybank. Okay, you guys know Maybank, right? Maybank essentially is one of the very few banks that is more fast-paced in comparison with other banking industry. Public bank, in my perspective, is considered very still in old school because they they're still changing, but they are taking their own time slowly. But whereas like banks like Maybank especially, you know, very well established nowadays, they are now using technologies as well, using AI technologies. But how they actually more advanced is they're I would say it's partly because of the mental mindset, and also because they're now opening to more youths, you know, to universities, to more student programs, and also to advanced tech, like, you know, the mobile apps they have, right, you know, to actually in order to move fast paced towards the industrial revolution 4.0. Yeah, so I would say actually all in all, everything is actually going through better towards technology already. Like everything is digital, I would say. You know, even the old school companies, you know, like Public Bank, for example, they're also emerging already. They're also evolving already. Yeah.
Very remarkable, insightful talk right there. Yeah, truly, I never know about anything that you've mentioned just now. Yeah. So moving on to Jordan and Asher, do you guys have any inputs?
I believe all of what Evelyn has said, that in every part of the business world, that's advancement in technology, where you could not even deny to not work without technology. So that, for example, in school, right, last time they were using books and everything, but then now they are using e-books. They're using I don't know what's that technology called, the whiteboard that you could interact with a pen, and then you can display your computer on the screen. That really that is also one example that technology is involving in every part of the business world.
Yeah.
For me, it's just pretty general, because I think you've been mentioned a lot already. But I'm just gonna talk about like the bridging. Yeah, so basically like technology acts as a bridge for communication, because like everything needs communication, right? So especially at this unprecedented time, technology is being used like every day to close deals, communicate with clients and employees. So I would say it's a bridge for communication. And then other than that, it's also like a task manager for us, because nowadays applications and like different devices help in managing and keeping people in check, like even the basics such as like the Google Calendar, things like that. So I would say that all these small things are pretty impactful in the business world, in terms of operations, marketing, and accounting. So in general, I think its role is everything, technology. And in terms of operations, business transactions, and money, all these use technology, and without technology, operations will cease. I mean, not cease, but it will just take a longer time, because and marketing, they need like computers, the web, softwares to like produce promotional materials, in order to market their ideas and as for accounting, software and applications are like used for easy calculations and tabulations of data. So technology makes things so much easier at the end of the day, and I think it's essential in the business world.
I see. So, okay, let's take a little bit in-depth look to what's going on now. Okay, so you have mentioned that all this application, all these softwares that is beneficial for like, business worlds, actually complements a lot of things, okay, making things easier. Okay, actually, what are the most useful technology tools that people are unaware of? Yeah, right now, as in now.
For me, I would say that it's one of them is Excel. Because to many people, Excel is just for you to like create tables, and I don't know what else you do with Excel, but yeah, mainly create tables and then for me back then also, I thought I just use Excel just to create tables, and then only when I like sort of came to uni, only I realized that Excel is a really useful software whereby you can do like data entry, accounting, financial analysis, charting and graphing, programming, and many more So for example, like formulas can be implemented into the rows and the columns, right, to help you tabulate the data, and then Gantt charts can be created as well for like project management, and other things like data analytics and graphs can also be done in Excel. So I think a lot of people aren't aware of the capabilities Excel can provide. The next thing, I think it will be like the cloud, Google Drive, Microsoft 365, Dropbox, these type of things. Because I think a lot of, other than students, I think working adults or generations before the advancement of tech, I would say that most of them are very accustomed to the traditional Microsoft desktop, like Word and all that. So and they use up a lot of physical memory in your like computers, right? When actually the cloud is just there for you, with tons of memory provided. So I think that all these things are like a lot of people aren't aware of, other than like for like students, I guess.
Actually, it remind me of one meme that I saw, right? Is that like, this is like a world, and then Excel is just supporting the financial part of the world. Like, yeah, you remind me of that meme. And then other kind of technology tools that I really would hope that future generation will study is artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence are trained to help human make decision, better decision, and that decision are also how to say, has a lot of computational in it that human would sometimes ignore. So that is what I hope people would be aware of.
I think in my personal point of view, I think what the technology used, I would say, aside from what Ashley has mentioned, Excel, I would say is a Power BI. I think people, especially those entrepreneurs, startups, who wants to, if let's say they want to, I believe it's very useful, because for those who want to become entrepreneurs in the future, if they really want to do their own business, they can use Power BI from Microsoft to help them, because it's basically help you to do everything for you, but you still need to do some work there, because what does Power BI does, from what I understand, is actually part of the like clouds, it's like it helps you to lay out the foundation, whatever charts, whatever structure, the foundation you want to plan, that your business plan you want to lay out. Power BI actually will help you part of it. Yeah. And also another thing is, I think I would say, is Adobe. Not that I know people heard of this Adobe software, which consists of like Adobe Premiere Pro, and then Photoshop, Illustrator, and so many more, because of its like premium package, right? But I believe that it's very useful if you really utilize it, especially to those who are to those who are like those art and design students, for those art and design students, of course, they actually use this a lot. But for those who people like me, under business background or especially as well as people who don't use this Adobe software, then they'll lose this opportunity to do something great for themselves and their career because Adobe actually like because right now I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro, which is basically video editing. It's really useful if you want to do video edits for your video campaigns in the future, or let's say you want to do some digital arts, or let's say you want to do some whatever you want to do, become photographer, you know, you can use Photoshop, Illustrator, you can do the use. So yeah, and then the third thing I believe technology tools that future students can actually use is coding, basically. Like for example, Python, you know. For me, I didn't really use much Python, but I'm starting to learn how it used. It's a bit complex, but I think from me, under business perspective, it's really useful to use. Like if you want to use for your future workplace, you want to become a programmer or something, then you can use coding like Python, you know. I believe this is something that most people are not really aware of when it comes to coding, except for those who are programmers like our computer science, you know, who are really familiar with this. Yeah, so these are the three tools I believe, technology tools that most people can unaware of and can be used in the future.
All right. Yeah, I totally agree on that. Yeah, for example, like all these tools we are unaware of, they can look it up afterwards, you know. But some people, they think that, hey, they learn that too late. For example, for me, sometimes I think that, hey, I learned coding too late. You know, when I come to uni, it's like, I don't know jack shit about, you know, coding and stuff like that. And here's come to my other question, which leads to my next point. Okay, like what are the importance of learning IT from a young age, and how can it actually benefit them in their future career?
Yeah, you remind me that there's one video I saw online, right? Like talking about an 8-year-old or first grade student who started to write a software which really success. That really makes me envy about his progress, and I hope that I could also learn programming as well. I could be exposed as early as possible. The importance of, I think, why nowadays young age should be exposed to programming, it's because it will try to let your brains develop in terms of logic thinking. So this is really important part of the learning progress. Yeah.
Evelyn, you wanna go or?
Here you go first.
Okay, for me, I think the importance is when you start at a young age, right? Because growing up, your mind is always developing, right? So I feel like in the field of IT, everything is very critical and very, how to say, very critical, I would say. So I think if starting from young, it would create a confidence boost, in the sense where like they will not shy away from failures and like challenges, because IT, everything is just like, it's either your system works or your system doesn't work, and then you have a lot of problems, right? You always have to figure out like how do we manage this. So I feel like getting used to this from a young age would create character development, I would say. And then also quicker speed when tackling questions. Yeah, because everything is about the brain. So what else? I think mainly that lah. I think it's more of character development and managing stuff at a young age is very essential, because considering now that mental health is like a topic to be discussed everywhere. So I think being able to manage things from a young age is a very good thing.
I believe that, first of all, I believe that when it comes to learning technologies, or anything, as long as a learning as long as like a learning curve, like education, for example, there's no age limit to learn. Basically, no matter how young or old, there's never too late to learn. First of all, like if let's say, even though let's say you graduate from, let's say, business background, but you want to do coding, your passion is do IT, but I know you graduate from business, so it's like, or maybe you come from art and design or whatever, or hospitality, it's never too late to learn something that you want to do, so whether it's young or old, even though they say you're old, even though they say you're at old age or you're a senior, like 40s, 50s, it's never too late to actually learn new skills, because that's where you keep on, like what Asher and Jordan has mentioned, you keep on train your brain development, you keep on train your brain, cognitive skills, everything, to keep on learning. Because the moment you stop learning, especially when you come to the certain age, where like senior age, where you stop learning, where you don't want to learn anything, then that's where your brain will plummet down, that it will die eventually, because without certain like training development, so I believe there's no age limit. But if you want to but for me, I believe that it's better to also learn technology, especially at the certain age, like younger age. I believe that it's good to learn new skills when you're young, because when you're young, your brain is active. Your brain you can capture things very fast, more than when you're older. But it's still, as I said, it's never too old, no, never too young to actually learn new things, But I believe that at the same time, that I also strongly believe that we have to learn new things, especially technology, at a very young age, but not too young to the point where it's a bit, can also affect your health. Like, for example, few years back, before the COVID began, when I passed by through some of those people, right, I saw some parents, they actually their kids already at a toddler age, they already let them use tablets. Like between 1 to 3 years of age, they already let them use tablets to play games or to learn or just to watch shows. When I see that, I was shaking my head, because know that yes, it's good to let them learn at a young age, but must have certain limit lah, like around 10 or 12 years old, that time is around a good age, or 7 years of age is okay, not too young, because it will affect the eyesight, first of all, and also affect the other part of the health body. So I would say, then again, it's good to learn new things at a very young age, because that's where you capture fast. But again, not too young, and it's also never too old to learn new things. There's no age limit. Yeah, this is my point of view lah.
All right. So speaking about like programming a lot, about like learning IT, like learning programming. So I believe like from the audience, everyone is aspired to learn coding, for their future career. Let's say someone wants to have a startup. So for beginners, what is everyone's recommendation for a programming language to learn? Like the most appropriate ones for them to start off lah.
For me, I think it will be Python, Java, or C++. Mainly because, but I would say Python lah, because to me Python is more language based, as in it's more towards like English, basically, like and there's not a lot of syntax inside, so there's not a lot of like symbols for you to like, so it's more I don't know how to explain though, but yeah, I think Python would be a really good start lah, and then only moving on to like C++ and Java. But for me, I started off with C++, so but I felt like Python is better lah. Yeah,
I understand that Python has like a magic power, right? Even though in my class, right, there's one tech savvy classmate, he always use Python to solve a lot of what's that called, like hackathon event. There's one hackathon called Google Code Jam, right? If you all heard before, it's where you're given 2 hours to solve 5 problems. Yeah, he used Python, and for me, in my opinion, I have different opinion. I love Java a lot. That's because I was exposed Java as my first programming language, and then afterwards, I know that Java has object-oriented, which means that everything you can think as like a real world object. You can code like real world object, and even though the virtual one, they can interact with each other. And how to make the system to be more effective, that is another topic that you could learn, like data structure and algorithm. So I would suggest Java as one and Python the another. Yeah.
I think I have to agree with Jordan and Asher as well. I have to go with Python. I'm not sure about Java and C++ because I haven't tried those yet. But when I first tried Python as a starting phase to learn coding, I really had a fun time with it because one aspect I really like about Python is that you can get to create like some art design that using codes. I mean, there's some part of it I'm also a bit confused still, but otherwise, like it comes to like creating arts using codes or like coordination, apart from I understand, it's really, really fun. You get to see the end product there, with all the cute, like those creative arts you invent using just coding, So that's why I would say, if you want to learn coding, then Python would be, for me, it would be the best start for it as a beginner.
Yeah, because I always have big dreams. I want to create GTA 5 alone. Actually, it's mostly I want to recreate alone. That's why it's one of the motivation why I'm still in computer science. Yeah, my motivation is still there. Yeah, just for All right. So yeah, here's what I'm going to do. All right. So we have come to the end of our discussion topics. As for the audience, I hope you guys have gained something knowledgeable. All right. So one thing I want to end this with: technology, there's no good and bad. Okay, it's just a tool. Okay, it's just a matter towards how you want to complement each other and make humanity better, the livelihood of humanity better. All right. So yeah, as for me, technology is part of growth also. Yeah, if you look back at the past, if you compare us to the third industrial revolution, especially now, we are slowly moving to the quantum revolution, where there are more complex problems. But however, a more advanced technology will be coming abroad as well. Okay, so highly, look forward for that. And as for the participants, let us know down below towards what are the most technology advancement that you are looking forward for. It can be metaverse, it can be what's coming up next towards blockchain. NFT is one of them. All right, I'm into NFT as well. Okay, so so now I'm gonna pass the floor to Shakil. Is Shakil here?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, so I'm gonna pass the floor to Shakil. So he's gonna introduce you guys a volunteering project, which might interest you guys in terms of empowering youth to make an impact towards the society. All right.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Hi, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna be promoting this project called Speak Up. Could the host let me share my screen, please? Okay, thank you. All right, so this project is called Speak Up. It's going to be held next year from 2nd January to 30th January. It's a 4-week program. All right, so the vision is to help as many Malaysian youths as possible. So just to give you an idea, we're getting students from Pahang, more rural areas this time compared to the last term. So we're trying to help these people in the rural areas more. Because, with situations now with the pandemic, I think education has been hit really, really hard. So there's more importance in this project than ever. And in how we're going to do it is we're going to have workshops based on STEM skills, which are science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And also we're going to have workshops to help them on their English proficiency. All right. So yeah, I think you guys are aware of the SDG that we are targeting. It will be number 4, which is quality of education. As I said, education is very, very important. And I think you guys have been talking about it for an hour already about how important education is right now. So I don't think I need to get into that. All right. So our objectives here, as I said, is to empower students, Malaysian students. And last term we did more Selangor-based students. But this time we're going to Pahang to help, try and help them as much as possible. And we also want to provide a cross-cultural learning environment. Like we'll be getting depends on who we're getting and who wants to participate. But last term we had people from Africa coming, people from different countries in Southeast Asia. So you'll be meeting people from all over the world, and you can learn about their cultures. Like my first time was last term, and I learned a lot. Honestly, learned a lot more than I thought I would. So as I said, we are targeting secondary school students, mainly from Form 1 to Form 4, because Form 5s don't really join because they have big exams, so we don't really want to disturb them. And we try our best to get as many B40 students as possible, but we open the project to anyone who would like to join. But we try to get more B40 students to help, because they are the ones that need the most help currently. All right. So if you're a volunteer in this project, these are the basic and most fundamental expectations that we have for you. And if you cannot meet this, then I can't really join the project. Okay, but just try. It's very, very basic. First is internet. As long as you have stable internet connection, you can join, because it's virtual, so we have no choice. All right. Next, you need to have a webcam and microphone, because we need to see your face. We want to hear you talk. The name of the project itself is Speak Up, so we want to hear your voice. You can share your opinions and listen around. All right. So next will be it will be a 4-week project, and you must attend all sessions to complete the project, or else you may not get your certificate. I mean, if you really can't make it on like basically 1 day, 2 days with a valid excuse, then we'll look into it. Otherwise, you have to try and make it for every session. Okay, and there will be a fixed schedule sent out before the project, and you guys just have to attend accordingly. So these are preferred skills. It's not compulsory except for English, because we are going to teach students English, so we need you to know basic English also. Like the English we're teaching them is very, very basic, because they're from rural areas. Their English is also very poor. Okay, so as long as you can speak and write, I would say, then you can join this project, no problem. Okay, and you need, if you can, have basic BM, because you'll be teaching rural students and all they speak is BM. They'll be more fluent in BM and more comfortable. But with Google Translate nowadays, maybe you can make something happen. I don't know. And then next, presentation skills, event management skills, all these other skills down there, that's optional. If you have that, better still. But if you don't, there will be teaching sessions where we'll get learning partners to come and teach you guys how to work around these skills and provide these skills to the students. Okay, so this is roughly what the project schedule looks like. There'll be sessions every day except Sundays will always be off. And it'll be max 2.5 hours, I would say, and 15 hours max a week in total. Okay, but I won't explain each session yet. So if you guys are interested, we'll send this booklet to you guys, and then you can look through it and see your calendar and see whether you're free. Okay. So these are the events that we're going to have, the sessions. The first is a national preparation webinar. That's where we just have an introduction, what's AIESEC about, and then we introduce you to everyone in the project, and then you know about other projects that are going on. And then there's incoming preparation seminar where we prepare you once again, but it'll be a more smaller group compared to the national preparation webinar. And then there'll be Global Village, where you get the chance to meet people from all over the world, Southeast Asia, Australia. I'm not sure who's joining yet, but yeah, you'll get to meet people from all over the world. You can share your experiences with them, and they can share theirs with you. Okay. And then there'll be a Speak Up podcast where you guys can just join. We'll take like maybe 3-4 volunteers in one podcast, and you guys will talk about a given topic, but it will be a current issue and probably based on education. All right. So you guys will be making the podcast yourselves, and then you will edit it and then send it to us. Then next is a reflection space with students. This session, from feedback from the summer term, was one of the the favorite session, because you get to talk to your students one-to-one. So you get to really know them as who they really are, and you get to provide your experiences to them, what you have learned, because you're going to be older than them. They're all students, you have been in their shoes before. So what you can do in this session, I've told the past LBs before, you can ask Evelyn if you want, because Evelyn was in the summer term. What I told them was, look back, just think back to when you were 15, 16, what advice would you like to be given that would have helped you much, much more, made your life much easier last time? So you can provide that to these students, all right? Because they'll listen to you instead of listening to an adult. It's like listening to a teacher, you know, like teachers, they're there, they'll teach you, but then listening to someone that's just slightly older, it's different, okay? And then there are preparation workshops where we'll teach you how to basic skills. So I'll give you a rough idea on what our workshop topics will be like. For personal development workshops, it will be mainly on public speaking, and we're going to have a drama session also. And then we'll have progress meetings weekly to update each other and then make sure everyone's not dying. Okay. And then we'll have projects for the students. So they'll have video challenges. They'll record themselves talking about a certain topic, because you have to understand these students don't talk and don't speak English on a day-to-day basis. So for them to make even a 1-minute video speaking about a certain topic is very, very challenging for them. So we're going to set this is a project that can hopefully boost their confidence as much as possible. Okay, then we'll be having a new event this winter, which is a public speaking competition where we'll be getting 8 students to battle it out. Then we're going to have a STEM workshops based on technology this term also. There'll be workshops on video editing and animation, because we think video editing is a useful skill to have. And animation, like, it's colorful, you can see movement on the screen. So we think it's the most interactive topic possible right now. And then we'll be having a farewell party where you guys can cry about your 4-week journey. Okay, and then we'll have, this is your job description. Basic stuff really. So you'll just be facilitating workshops. You must be maybe an MC, or you're in charge of a particular group, for example. So that's what it's going to be like. Then video creations, you'll be supporting your students in making their videos. So if there are any doubts, any questions, you must be there for them. Then you must be a mentor to them. This is the most important, because you can guide them. You can this is your time to like make an impact in their lives, right? That's why you're going to join this project. So if you can be a good mentor to them, then yeah, you can make that impact that you want to make. Okay, then we'll be having fundraisings also. So we're trying to raise as much money as possible to buy laptops for B40 students. We can't buy for everyone, because unless we can get enough money, depending on how much money we can get, then we can buy that many laptops. But we're trying to help as many students as possible, because in rural areas, they don't have laptops. So, and imagine not having a laptop these days. You'll literally be living under a rock. Okay, then you'll be impact broadcasters, basically, or podcast sessions where you talk about these topics that will be given. So what we provide in this 4-week journey is a chance to develop your leadership, because you'll be given a chance to lead your own workshop. Everybody will be given a chance to lead their own workshop. So you'll be working in groups to lead a workshop and develop your leadership. You can also look at it as leading your specific students. Your individual students, you can lead them. Even though it's just 1 or 2 people, it's more than nothing, right? And then there'll be weekly check-ins where the OC team, OC is the organizing committee team, like me, there are 3 other people, sorry. So we'll be talking to the LVs weekly to make sure you guys are in check. You can pour your emotions and everything to us, and we'll just try and support you. All right. Then exposure to project management tools like Someone said initially, I forgot who, but they weren't aware of Excel sheets. And personally, I wasn't aware of spreadsheets also until like this year, how much they can do and how complex it actually is. So yeah, you can learn how to use, especially Google Suites, because we use Google the most. So spreadsheets, Google Forms, stuff like that. All right. So there'll be training sessions also, like to teach you how to teach public speaking, drama, the animation, and all those kind of stuff. Then you'll be meeting people from all over the world. And lastly is your certificate. Once you finish your 4-week journey, you'll be provided a certificate to show proof that you have participated in this volunteering service. All right. So learning points, you can learn soft skills like I've mentioned countless times already. You can develop event planning because you'll be planning a 2.5-hour workshop, which is super difficult virtually, honestly. And content creation, video editing skills. Yeah, this is basically, I've gone through all of this already. So this is just a summary. Okay, so this is what we did in summer. We targeted one school. We got 36 students to participate. Not everyone will join because it's very, very difficult to communicate with the students virtually because they'll just leave you and read for like 3 weeks. Then 3 weeks later, they'll be like, oops, sorry, I didn't see your message. So what to do? And then, yeah, that was our success rate. We got 75% submissions in projects and we got 13 volunteers and we got about 4,500 ringgit raised for the project. Okay. This is a testimonial. I'm not going to read this now, but we'll send you a booklet and then you can read what the LVVs themselves have to say about the project. He was an LVV in the past term and Rabika was a student in the past term. So you can see both point of views and you can join. And if you have any comments like improvements that you want to make, then you can go ahead and inform us. All right. All right, so lastly, there'll be an LVV fee of 100 ringgit. This is how it's going to be split. 100 ringgit, I don't think it's too much because it's for a good cause anyways. All right, so just 100 ringgit if you want to join. So that'll be it for me. Thanks guys for listening. If you have any further questions, you can ask. I don't think we have time for a Q&A session, but you can just contact one of these people here. All right. So I think I'll pass it back to Brian. Thanks.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Shakil. I hope participants, I hope you guys enjoy the build promotion. And if you guys are interested or you guys wish to participate, you guys have made up your mind already. We have a process for you guys to go through later on. Okay. So now I have a very, very important announcement. So maybe we have multiple representatives from our clubs here. We have Asher from Agent of Tech, we have TARUC, we have Inti. Do you guys want to have a short promotion towards your society?
Sure. Okay, so I'm from Agents of Tech, and we are the official tech club in Taylor's University. So we conduct many tech events throughout the year, and such as talks, workshops, and hackathons. So you can follow us on Instagram at Agents of Tech. I think someone can, yeah. To receive the latest updates on our events, and stay tuned for a tech conference that's coming up soon. So that will be help. We will have like workshops and Imagine Hack as well, which is a hackathon. Imagine Hack is a hackathon that will be coming soon as well. So stay tuned and be sure to follow us on Instagram for more updates. Thank you.
Yeah, from TARUC side, tomorrow 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. TARUC will be having our first CTF competition, Capture the Flag, if you guys do not know that. And we will live stream in our Facebook page. I'll paste the Facebook page link here. Yeah, you guys can follow it. And then for those who like CTF or do not know what CTF you would like to explore, you can follow our page. Yep, thanks a lot.
Yeah, I have no events from my end so far. So yeah, it's all good.
All right then. So, okay, so thank you guys. And yeah, before we officially end, okay, just hanging there a little bit. Okay, we are a little bit behind time. Okay, we have a very, very important mission for you guys, okay, which is to help us to fill in, like, just take 2 or 3 minutes of your time to help us to fill in the feedback form. As we have one important saying, we only provide the best for you guys. By filling out the feedback form, we know what to improve next, so you guys can enjoy our session even more next. Okay, so yeah, since you guys have stayed till the end of our event, so I have a little surprise for you guys, which is, you know, the 3-month Spotify giveaway. Okay, we have a giveaway as well as but however there's a little bit T&C lah. So the T&C is that once you guys fill a feedback form, or you guys are interested in any one of our volunteering projects, okay, we have multiple volunteering projects as well. Okay, you guys can fill out the interest form. Okay, you guys can fill the interest form here. Okay, and then our beloved AIESECers will approach you and guide you through the application process. Okay, so yeah, with that, you guys are able to win the join Speak Up. Yes, guys, join Speak Up, and it's super life-changing process for you. Okay, so our AIESECers will guide you through the application process for you guys to win the Spotify giveaway as well. All right, okay. So at meantime, you guys can fill up the feedback form first, and you guys can send a wave down the chat box below once you guys have done. All right, so this is how a wave looks like. Okay, shall we play some music? Just give them like 2 minutes. All right, so for those of you who haven't done filling out the feedback form, you guys can continue to do so. So due to time constraint, all right, so we have to proceed a little bit faster. Okay, so another one more thing for you guys is that I highly suggest you guys to actually join our Telegram broadcasting channel, as we have our own, very own Telegram broadcasting channel, as you guys can receive any latest opportunities from AIESEC University. Okay, fresh and hot for you guys. All right, so you guys can click to join our Telegram broadcasting channel by clicking the link on the chat box down below, or if you guys have made up your mind, once again, I've mentioning, have made up your mind which volunteering volunteering project you guys want to join, you guys can go ahead and fill out the interest form, and our beloved AIESECers will approach you. Okay, so yeah, now we have come to the end of our podcast for today, and thank you, Agent of Tech, INTI, and TARUC, Computer Science Society, for joining us for today. And before we truly end and press that red leave button, okay, we have to do one important favor. So yeah, maybe you can spotlight us as we would like to take a picture of this memorable day. Okay, so for those of you who are comfortable enough, you can open up your camera